Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 654 based on novel. So let's start. Master South Cloud saw Wang Lin. Tao Master Blue Dream also saw Wang Lin. In the celestial realm, everyone who had met Wang Lin saw the white-haired and white-robed figure. The Lord of the Seal Realm. Although some of the cultivators that had entered the celestial realm later hadn't seen Wang Lin, they had heard many rumors around him. Now that they were seeing him, the entire celestial realm seemed to boil up. The feelings of suppression and panic instantly disappeared. Master South Cloud only had his origin soul, and with Wang Lin's current cultivation level, he could gather the power of the world to make him a new body. Master South Cloud could fuse with this body and feel no discomfort. Tao Master Blue Dream hesitated as he looked at Wang Lin, but he didn't speak. He was waiting for Wang Lin to condense a new body for Master South Cloud before he tried to speak, but in the end, he let out a sigh. Wang Lin smiled and greeted all the familiar people. He also saw Shuligua and Liu Jinbia pulling some cultivators and talking about something. The finger-long sea dragon on Liu Jinbia's shoulder looked very bored. When a cultivator tried to touch it, it bared its teeth and the cultivator laughed. 13 still liked to be alone. He was sitting not far away and could occasionally open his eyes to look at Wang Lin respectfully. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and walked toward Tao Master Blue Dream alone. Tao Master Blue Dream's face was still pale. It was clear that his earlier injuries were very serious. Wang Lin pointed at Tao Master Blue Dream. The power of the world gathered and rushed into Tao Master Blue Dream's body, causing his injuries to rapidly recover. A moment later, Tao Master Blue Dream's face was no longer pale. He took a deep breath and nodded at Wang Lin. Tao Master Blue Dream slowly asked, "Is my daughter doing well?" Wang Lin silently pondered and sat down before Tao Master Blue Dream. Seeing Wang Lin's expression, Tao Master Blue Dream's heart fell and his face turned pale once more. What happened? Wang Lin, tell me. I could not find her after she reincarnated, Wang Lin said bitterly. Although he was the strongest person on the immortal astral continent, he was still respectful to Tao Master Blue Dream because he had helped in the past and was Li Qianmei's father. Tao Master Blue Dream closed his eyes and muttered to himself, "Didn't find her. She went to the immortal astral continent because of you and you didn't find her." Didn't find her? Tao Master Blue Dream opened his eyes and began to laugh. This laughter was filled with disappointment and anger. Just at this moment, a rumble came from the blood-colored sky. The many cracks in the sky showed signs of collapsing and an arrogant laughter came from above. All you cave world cultivators stubbornly resisted, thinking this formation could block this old man. Now the formation is about to be broken. Just wait for this old man to come in, and all of you will become food for my cultivation. The voice was weak at the beginning, but as it continued, it became like a thunderous rumble that echoed across the celestial realm. Everyone looked up at the sky. No one at the celestial realm knew Wang Lin's specific cultivation level, but since Wang Lin could appear here without Master Scarlet Soul, knowing that meant that his cultivation level was not average. However, no one knew whether Wang Lin could defeat Master Scarlet Soul. Master South Cloud's expression was relaxed. He was not worried at all. From how Wang Lin could a new body for him with a casual wave of his hand, he knew how powerful Wang Lin was. In particular, when he saw the contempt in Shuligua and Liu Jinbia's eyes, and that even the small snake on Liu Jinbia's shoulder had the same expression, he was certain of his speculation. Not far away, 13 looked at the sky with an indifferent expression, but there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. Her mark disappeared, so she should have recovered her memories. I looked for a long time, but I couldn't find her. However, I can feel that she is somewhere on the immortal astral continent, and now I'm searching for her. Wang Lin ignored the rumble from the sky as he looked at Tao Master Blue Dream and spoke bitterly. As long as she reveals a hint of her aura, I can detect her. Even though I have returned to the cave world, I can still sense her aura, Wang Lin murmured. Li Qianmei was special to him. Although she wasn't the same as Li Muwen, she was the second woman to walk into his heart. However, I can feel that she is intentionally avoiding me and doesn't want me to find her, Wang Lin closed his eyes. His heart felt very painful. This pain was not as strong as missing Li Muwen, but it was still heart-wrenching. He still remembered the words Li Qianmai had muttered to him with an indescribable emotion. Wang Lin, don't understand feelings. Looking at Wang Lin's face and listening to his words, Tao Master Blue Dream silently pondered. He knew what Wang Lin was feeling, and he understood his own daughter. The sky rumbled and began to collapse on a wide scale, revealing a hole. The blood color spread as more holes appeared and laughter echoed across the entire celestial realm. The sky collapsed and countless cracks appeared. After several days, Master Scarlet Soul had finally corroded an opening in the formation. The formation continued to fall, and soon, the celestial realm would have no protection. This laughter was filled with arrogance and sounded heaven-shattering. Blood figures flew out from the hole and filled the sky. The blood figures were those puppets. They appeared in the sky and stared at the people below with indifferent expressions. As the blood figures appeared, the youth wearing red walked out of the hole. He looked arrogant and was filled with killing intent. After he appeared, his voice echoed across the world. Your weak formation was destroyed by my teacher. You lowly cultivators, I want to see how you will resist this time. Mu Bingmai, once my teacher has his fun with you, I'll let you know the difference between me and that Wang Lin. The youth laughed hysterically as he walked out. He looked down, but this caused his words to suddenly stop. He saw Master South Cloud sneering at him, and Master South Cloud had a body. He saw the beautiful Mu Bingmai. She was looking at him coldly, as if she was looking at a dead person. What shook his heart even more was the young man in white sitting before Tao Master Blue Dream. The youth didn't look at him directly, but when he saw this person, his body trembled. This person looked a bit familiar. The mind of the young man in red rumbled as if thunder had exploded in his mind. He could hardly believe his own eyes. This person looked exactly the same as the statue he had seen on planet Suzaku when he was young. Ancestor, he seemed to have gone crazy. He refused to believe that the person before him was his ancestor Wang Lin. However, the trembling in his soul clearly told him that the white-haired youth was planet Suzaku's ancestor. The Lord of the Sealed Realm from back then, Wang Lin. So what if it really is him? He is not teacher's match. The young man's expression changed as took a deep breath. He subconsciously retreated and his eyes narrowed. Interesting, you actually found someone so similar. Do you think that with him? Before he could finish speaking, the white-haired youth in white looked up at him. Those eyes were completely calm, but they made his body tremble. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and calmly said, 13, kill him. Not far away, there was a flash of coldness in 13's eyes and he moved without hesitation. As he walked into the sky, he waved his right hand and smoke appeared. It was the extreme fire Dao of the 8 extreme Dao. For his disciple 13, Wang Lin had chosen spells that were suitable for him. He had also extracted power of the world to increase 13's cultivation level greatly. Others couldn't do this, but as someone who was half a step into the heaven-trampling stage and was comparable to the ancient ancestor and celestial ancestor, this matter was not difficult. Under the gazes of the countless cultivators of the celestial realm, 13 flew up with an indifferent gaze. Smoke surrounded him, forming rings, and created a raging fire in the sky. Under this raging fire, all the blood puppets collapsed without any power to resist. A miserable scream echoed from the sea of fire before 13 walked out holding a head filled with despair. The fire in the sky instantly disappeared after 13 left. The sky was still red, but it was a lot less intense. An old man was revealed to be at the whole of the formation, and he stared at Wang Lin dumbfoundedly. Wang Lin. The old man was filled with disbelief, but he soon turned fierce. His void turbulent cultivation suddenly erupted, causing the sky to shake and the earth to tremble. You actually came back to the cave world, but even though you came back, you're still an ant before this old man. The old man was Master Scarlet Soul. After he spoke, he flew like a ray of light toward Wang Lin. From his point of view, Wang Lin's cultivation was like a cloud of fog, but he thought Wang Lin had some treasures to hide his cultivation level. This kind of thing was common on the immortal astral continent. He was completely confident in his void turbulent cultivation. Wang Lin calmly watched Master Scarlet Soul charging at him. Before Wang Lin did anything, the small snake on Li Jinbiao's shoulder suddenly shined brightly and let out a heaven-shattering roar. The roar shook the world and caused the ears of all the Celestial Realm cultivators to rumble. Master Scarlet Soul's body trembled and he stopped as he stared below like a wooden chicken. This is... The little snake quickly flew up and rapidly expanded under the dumbfounded gazes of all the cultivators. It quickly recovered to its original size of a giant sea dragon and roared at the startled Master Scarlet Soul. Gold? Golden? Exalt? Sea dragon? Master Scarlet Soul felt like he was dreaming. Master Scarlet Soul came from the immortal astral continent, so he knew about cultivators far beyond the level of a cave world. Golden exalts, Empyrean exalts, Ascendant Empireans, and the 9 peak existences on the immortal astral continent, the Grand Empireans. On the immortal astral continent, with his cultivation level, he would be very respectful if he met a golden exalt. After all, golden exalts were very powerful and they were grand elder characters even in powerful sects. It could be said that the golden exalts determined the power of a sect. Master Scarlet Soul's dream was to become a golden exalt cultivator. He wanted to break the formation around the celestial realm for this goal. He wanted to devour the celestial realm and absorb their blood to make a breakthrough. However, he had just seen the small snake turn into a giant sea dragon. This made Master Scarlet Soul's mind go totally blank. The pressure from the sea dragon was enough to make the celestial realm tremble. Most people here felt their hearts tremble and even wanted to worship the dragon. Golden exalt. This is a golden exalt. Master Scarlet Soul's eyes were dull. He didn't dare to believe what he was seeing. A rare golden exalt existence. But this was a golden exalt beast, which was even more rare, and now one had appeared before him in the cave world. This absurd feeling almost drove Master Scarlet Soul insane. The golden exalt sea dragon moved and its eyes revealed a ferocious gaze. It stared at Master Scarlet Soul and let out a roar. This roar made Master Scarlet Soul's body tremble violently. His origin soul became unstable and he felt like it was going to collapse. This clearly told him that this sea dragon was a golden exalt existence. Master Scarlet Soul subconsciously retreated a few steps and sweat appeared on his forehead. He could not imagine why Wang Lin had a golden exalt sea dragon with him. This was already beyond his imagination. It felt like everything was just a dream. As he retreated, he suddenly thought of something. The appearance of the sea dragon didn't come from Wang Lin, but the shoulder of a cultivator with an otherworldly aura. It isn't that this Wang Lin is strong, there is no pressure or fluctuations coming from him. Although it is a treasure hiding his aura, only those that are weak use this method to protect themselves. Since Wang Lin acts like this, his cultivation level must not be high. This sea dragon does not belong to him, but the otherworldly-looking cultivator. Wang Lin's cultivation level is not high, but he must be a good friend of this cultivator. He must have been afraid of being too weak on his trip back, so he asked a friend to come with him. And from the look of the otherworldly cultivator, his cultivation level is not high either. Then that means he must have a teacher who is an Empyrean exalt on the immortal astral continent. This is the only explanation. Master Scarlet Soul's eyes lit up. He felt that this was the only logical explanation. As he retreated, the golden exalt sea dragon opened its mouth to devour him, and Master Scarlet Soul suddenly let out a roar. "Fellow cultivator, please listen to me." The person he spoke to was not Wang Lin or the sea dragon, but Liu Jinbia, who was watching from a distance with pride on his face. Fellow cultivator's teacher must an Empyrean exalt on the immortal astral continent. With fellow cultivator's talent, you must be a direct disciple of the Empyrean exalt. Otherwise, you won't have been gifted a golden exalt sea dragon. This is a private matter between Wang Lin and I, so I'd like to ask fellow cultivator to not participate in this matter. Afterward, I'll definitely thank fellow cultivator. Master Scarlet Soul had no other choice. Under the pressure of the golden exalt sea dragon, he didn't even have the courage to escape. Right now it was a matter of life or death, and he didn't have much time to think. Even though he knew that this person was here because of Wang Lin and that it would be difficult to persuade him, he still had to try. Before I was sealed, I hid all my savings that I had collected for countless years in the Eastern continent. I only ask fellow cultivator to be forgiving and spare my life. Master Scarlet Soul's heart was tense as he stared at the sea dragon. He was extremely afraid and even his voice was trembling. Liu Jinbiao was startled. Wang Lin faintly smiled but didn't smile. Shuligua, the sea dragon, and Master South Cloud and company were also startled. Shuligua was startled for a moment and then suddenly began to laugh. Liu Jinbiao revealed a smile that wasn't a smile as he looked at Master Scarlet Soul, who was in despair. This old man's uncle master is Sun Shanqing, an Empyrean exalt under Grand Empyrean Dao Yi. If you let this sea dragon kill me, my uncle master will certainly find out. I don't believe your teacher is willing to get on the bad side of another Empyrean exalt. Master Scarlet Soul's face was pale and he revealed his fear toward death. Also, Grand Empyrean Dao Yi is very biased. If my uncle master pleads for help, you all will have to pay the price. Wang Lin, this is a price you can't bear. The entire cave world will be destroyed. You have been to the immortal astral continent, so you must know about the Grand Empyreans. If you let me leave, I will vow to no longer have any ideas about the celestial realm, and I will immediately leave the cave world. Master Scarlet Soul squealed. He believed that Wang Lin knew of the Grand Empyreans, so he was confident his words could play a deterrent role. When Liu Jinbiao heard this, he subconsciously looked at Wang Lin. This action made Master Scarlet Soul even more confident. Wang Lin's expression was a bit strange. He looked at Master Scarlet Soul, who was terrified enough to use any method to find a path to life, and smiled. Master Scarlet Soul quickly said, "And if you let this old man leave, I can beg Uncle Master to take you into the sect. Then you will also belong to someone under Grand Empyrean Dao Yi. Once your cultivation breaks through, you can do as you wish on the immortal astral continent." Dao Yi. Grand Empyrean, A. Wang Lin stood up and looked at Master Scarlet Soul. In his eyes, this person was an ant. The many cultivators in the celestial realm didn't really understand Wang Lin's cultivation. When they heard Master Scarlet Soul talk about the mysterious Grand Empyrean Dao Yi, just the name itself caused their hearts to tremble. Dao Master Blue Dream frowned but didn't speak. Master South Cloud also had a gloomy expression. His faith in Wang Lin's strength had wavered slightly. On the immortal astral continent, there were originally 9 Grand Empyreans. This Dao Yi is the weakest one, Wang Lin slowly said. His expression was still calm. Master Scarlet Soul's eyes lit up. He also knew this, and when he heard Wang Lin say this, he was even more certain that Wang Lin knew how incomparably powerful Grand Empyreans were. However, he was still a bit hesitant. Wang Lin's casual tone when talking about Grand Empyreans made Master Scarlet Soul feel like something bad was going to happen. However, even the weakest Grand Empyrean has the power to dominate all living things, Wang Lin slowly said, but at this moment, his tone suddenly changed. However, even if Dao Yi came here personally, he would still have to immediately retreat when facing me. I fear he won't even dare to come see me. Wang Lin smiled. When Master Scarlet Soul heard these words, his eyes widened. He looked at Wang Lin as if Wang Lin had gone crazy. No one would dare to say such things. You really have guts. If you are really so brave, why don't you go to the immortal astral continent and say it to Grand Empyrean Dao Yi? Although Master Scarlet Soul was scared, but before such arrogant words, he still mocked Wang Lin. It doesn't need to be so troublesome. Wang Lin was in no rush. Since this Master Scarlet Soul had dared to break the formation around the celestial realm, simply killing him wouldn't appease Wang Lin's anger. Dao Yi, this person said that a person under you is his uncle master. Tell me if this is true. Wang Lin waved his right hand and a thunderous rumble echoed. The sea dragon quickly retreated and a giant vortex appeared above the celestial realm. The vortex opened a passage and broke the law around the immortal astral continent, forming a connection. On the immortal astral continent, Dao Yi had just returned from the vast basin, and the terrifying scene he had seen there was lingering in his mind. He didn't dare to believe it, but he knew everything was true. The strongest person on the immortal astral continent was no longer Guo Dao, but the person he was terrified of, Wang Lin. Just at this moment, the sky above the Dao Yi sect changed and the world changed colors. A vortex appeared and Wang Lin's voice echoed across the world. He was shocked to find that his body could not move and that the divine sense coming from the vortex was emitting a strange force. He was being pulled toward the vortex. In the vortex, he saw a strange continent, Wang Lin, and also heard Wang Lin's words. He even felt like he was on the border of life or death, and Wang Lin was in control. It was as if Wang Lin only needed but a thought to kill him. In the celestial realm of the cave world, Master Scarlet Soul looked at the vortex that had appeared above. He felt a terrifying aura that made him tremble coming from the vortex. He had felt this aura before from afar. It was Grand Empyrean Dao Yi. This is impossible. Impossible. There is no Empyrean exalt under me that knows this person. Please. I plead Lord Wang. To not be angry, Dao Yi's bitter voice came from inside the vortex. The look of respect and fear was clearly seen by Master Scarlet Soul. Fake? This is fake. This is impossible. Master Scarlet Soul felt like he was going crazy. He couldn't believe any of this. Master Scarlet Soul's eyes turned red and he roared hysterically, "Fake? No one can create a vortex that connects to the immortal astral continent and summon a Grand Empyrean. It's all fake. Don't try to deceive this old man." His expression was ferocious and the veins on his head were swollen. At this moment, he forgot his fear and felt like his mind was going to collapse from this absurd concept. Fake, it's all fake. Ha ha, it must all be fake. Wang Lin, this old man knows the Celestial Emperor's bodyguard Luo Ming. He is a good friend of mine and I once saved his life. He is a confidant of the Celestial Emperor. Master Scarlet Soul laughed as if this was his last strand of hope. Oh? It's all fake, eh? Although I can't bring the Celestial Emperor's divine sense here, I can let you see his broken soul. Wang Lin waved his hand and the vortex in the sky suddenly disappeared. Dao Yi's aura also disappeared. In the Dao Yi sect, Dao Yi trembled. He clearly felt his own vulnerability and Wang Lin's strength. See if this is fake. Wang Lin was calm, and as he spoke, 3 colors appeared behind him. Black, white, gold. The 3 colors of light suddenly gathered into a giant sun and the aura of a Grand Empyrean erupted from Wang Lin. All of it descended upon Master Scarlet Soul. At the same time, Celestial Emperor Lian Daoxuan's face appeared in the sun. Although his face was distorted from the pain, anyone who had met Lian Daoxuan would be able to recognize him. Fake? It's all fake. It's all fake. You also a Grand Empyrean? Ha ha, it's all fake. Don't try to deceive me, Master Scarlet Soul muttered. His eyes were out of focus. After Wang Lin released his Grand Empyrean pressure, his cultivation level continued to rise until it reached half a step into heaven trampling. His pressure was enough to collapse star system and destroy all life. All the pressure gathered around Master Scarlet Soul and none leaked out. He began to laugh like a madman, and the moment he went crazy, his body collapsed. When his body collapsed, Master Scarlet Soul went insane. He could not accept this reality. He didn't dare to believe he had hostile intentions toward someone who had refined the Celestial Emperor's soul, who even Dao Yi feared, and who was a Grand Empyrean himself. He had even talked out teasing a Grand Empyrean's lover and had taken a Grand Empyrean's descendant as his disciple. He had even made the descendant of the Grand Empyrean rebel against the Grand Empyrean. Absurd, absolutely ridiculous. He went crazy. His body collapsed and his origin soul died. However, compared to the madness in him, this pain was like the firefly and the moon. It was impossible to compare the two. This kind of death was countless times more cruel than directly destroying one's body and soul. Aside from his body, Wang Lin had ruthlessly destroyed his reasoning and mind. On the day after the battle, Wang Lin brought Mu Bingmai, 13, Shuligua, and company and left. Before leaving, Wang Lin rebuilt the formation. This formation was even more powerful, and unless the celestial ancestor or ancient ancestor were reborn, no one could break it. Not even Gu Dao could break it. When he left, Wang Lin left a part of his Dao and spells in the celestial realm. He had also gathered power of the world and made a mountain of pills. He had left a powerful seed for the celestial realm. Perhaps the celestial realm would be filled with powerful people as time passed, maybe even people who inherited Wang Lin's Dao. A perfect protection formation, a large amount of pills and Dao scriptures, and even Wang Lin's understanding of the ethereal essences. This would make the celestial realm very strong and make sure incidents like Master Scarlet Soul never happened again. Before leaving, Wang Lin and Dao Master Blue Dream talked for a long time. No one knew what they had talked about, and after Dao Master Blue Dream sent Wang Lin off, he went into closed-door cultivation. Wang Lin left. He traveled through the vast star system and arrived on planet Suzaku. He sat before his own statue for several days before he left. He then went to planet Qianyun, which had become a ruin during the Great War. There, Wang Lin spread out his divine sense and found the entrance to the demon spirit land. In this familiar place that was Celestial Emperor Qing Lin's cave, he found the scroll he had once sealed there. He released the woman inside and allowed her to enter reincarnation. The mystery woman from back then was no longer important to Wang Lin. Wang Lin left the demon spirit land and went to a lot of places in the 4-star systems. As for some of the unresolved matters from the past, he didn't deliberately search for answers but dealt with them one by one. In the end, he left the inner realm and went to the outer realm. In the outer realm, the first place he went to was the Fallen Land. There, he saw the old vermilion bird, who had helped him before. He also saw a lot of old friends. A few days later, Wang Lin released the seal on the Fallen Land to allow the people there to leave at will. Wang Lin took away the most important item of the Fallen Land, a pointer on a compass. His footprints appeared all over the outer realm. He saw esteemed Scattered Soul, this friend who he admired greatly in the past. Similarly, Wang Lin saw a baby on a cultivation planet in the outer realm. The baby's body was in the core of the planet and seemed to be sleeping. The baby looked like Tuo Senator, although Wang Lin didn't know what had happened. Tuo Sen seemed to be too Sai, and he was cultivating some kind of spell. This spell required him to revert his body back into a baby and grow once more. Wang Lin watched the baby until he left several days later. He left a divine sense for Tuo Sen, and when the baby awakened, he would feel this divine sense. For Wang Lin, the cave world no longer had any mysteries. If there was anything, it would be the mysterious All-Seer and 7-colored Daoist. However, all traces of those two had disappeared from the cave world. Wang Lin went to a lot of places and then, 1 year later, returned to planet Suzaku, his hometown. There was one final secret waiting to be revealed. Back then, he didn't have the power to find it, and before he left the cave world, he was filled with confusion about the future, so he had no time to pay attention to it. However, now that he was on planet Suzaku, Wang Lin went to the Sea of Devils, to the entrance of the land of the ancient god. Although the land of the ancient god had collapsed due to Tuo Sen leaving, there was still an ancient space within. Wang Lin stepped inside and found the Ji Qiang. This beast had devoured Wang Lin's divine sense and grown a head that looked exactly like Wang Lin. However, when Wang Lin found it, the beast had been dead for an unknown amount of years and only a skeleton remained. Wang Lin stood next to the skeleton for a long time, and his gaze was locked onto one of the skulls. It was a human skull, but it was not normal-sized. Instead, it was the size of a fist. Wang Lin looked at it in confusion. He had a skull that was exactly the same in his storage space. He took out the skull, and when the two skulls were placed next to each other, one of them turned into a speck of dark light before disappearing. Wang Lin recognized that the one that disappeared was the one he had gotten from Dao Yi. Wang Lin vaguely gained some enlightenment, but it was only a flash and he could not clearly grasp it. He stroked the skull and muttered to himself, if there really is reincarnation, then when the past and the present meet, the past will dissipate and no longer exist. Only the present will remain. After putting away the skull, Wang Lin relaxed greatly. When he vaguely began to doubt himself, he felt fear from his heart toward this skull. He did not fear it, but the origin of this thing. He hesitated. If there really was reincarnation, did this belong to Wang Ping? Now he had found the answer. Wang Lin put away the skull and walked out of the space the land of the ancient god was in. The ancient Tao imperial teacher that looked like the All-Seer said that I had found the skull and the white hair. Now the skull has changed. Does this mean that one day the white hair will encounter a similar fate? Wang Lin left while silently pondering. Time flowed by. In a flash, 10 years passed. Shuligua's seal had long been released. After he regained his freedom, he could not hold in the pride he felt after returning home. He and Liu Jinbiao had left 10 years ago, and the two of them had gone off somewhere. The sea dragon was accompanying them and would make sure no one in the cave world could harm them. Only they could bully others, and there was no chance of others bullying them. Before Liu Jinbiao left, he told Shuligua in a serious expression that he wanted to pursue the ultimate form of deception. He felt like his cooperation with Shuligua was good, but perhaps another person would make it more perfect. Shuligua also agreed. After they discussed it, they set their sights on Zhong Big Red and felt nostalgic. They decided that the first stop was to find Zhong Big Red. 13 was the same as always and remained on planet Suzaku. He decided to stay here to protect his teacher until his teacher awakened. His cultivation level had risen in the last 10 years. Most importantly, he had inherited Wang Lin's Tao and almost all of Wang Lin's spells. Aside from the ethereal essences, which he still hadn't gained much comprehension in, 13 had already formed the 5 elemental essences. In particular, 13 seemed to have an amazing talent for the 8 extreme Tao, so his comprehension was profound. 13 wasn't the only one that guarded Wang Lin, there was also the Mosquito King. It was very powerful and was like a king in this place. Every time it moved, it would attract the attention of all the cultivators on the planet. There were cultivators that wanted to catch it, but once they suffered and learned of the gap between them and this mosquito beast, they all avoided it and no longer dared to provoke it. The mosquito beast would not hurt anyone and would sometimes leave the planet to play. The people on the planet gradually grew accustomed to its existence. As for Wang Lin and Mu Bingmai, they had both walked into a cave in the mountain 10 years ago. Wang Lin had used his dream Tao to bring him and Mu Bingmai to resolve the matter and inner demon that was Liu Mai. Perhaps once the issue with Liu Mai was resolved, the relationship between Wang Lin and Mu Bingmai would be different. Time passed. In a flash, another 10 years went by. The cultivators on planet Suzaku didn't know that the legendary Wang Lin had long returned to his hometown. They only knew that 20 years ago, an indifferent cultivator had turned a mountain into a forbidden land. No one was allowed to take half a step inside. The first time someone did it, there would be warning, but the second time would result in death. This autumn, the autumn leaves were blown into the air and flew across the sky as if they wanted to find their home. The autumn sky was clear for 10,000 kilometers, it was very beautiful. On this autumn morning, there were bursts of smoke coming from what looked like a farmhouse and a garden. This place was the country of Zhao. Many of the people who lived here never went far their farms. Not to mention this was a remote place, a small mountain village at the foot of a mountain. When the autumn wind in the morning dragged the leaves by, bursts of sounds came from the village. There was a group of naughty kids playing and laughing. There was a red carriage that was surrounded by villagers, and it stopped before a courtyard. The noise reached a peak. It was clear that this family was welcoming a bride. Rumor that the ancestor of this family was a carpenter, but this generation was a scholar. It was said that he had passed the county exam. However, for some unknown reason, he hadn't gone to the capital, but returned to this place. Now more than 20 years had passed, and the scholar had become a middle-aged man. He had a son that had also grown up. Today was the joyous day for the child Wang Lin. Wang Lin had grown up here, so the nearby villagers knew him very well. This child was very unfortunate, he was a mute. He always silently looked into the distance, and no one knew what he was looking at. When the lively sounds reached a peak, the curtain to the carriage was opened and a woman wearing a red veil walked out. Wang Lin held her hand and the two of them walked into the courtyard. As for the woman, all the youths in the village adored her. She was the second daughter of the Liu family, a rich family in the area. Ever since she was a child, she was always liked to be with Wang Lin. They two of them were childhood sweethearts, and one would often see those two little fellows looking into the distance. Now that they had grown up, no one was surprised about them getting married, just a lot of them were envious. The joyous events in a village were often not as big as those in the towns. They were very simple. The host would arrange a feast and the whole village would come to congratulate them. When the sun set, it would be over. The remaining time belonged to the newlyweds. In the new house, a simple and honest Wang Lin raised the veil off his wife's face and saw her breathtakingly beautiful face. The woman was called Liu Mai. She blushed as she looked at Wang Lin and laughed. The meeting of their gazes seemed to penetrate time, as if their gazes had lasted reincarnation after reincarnation until they became eternal. The day after they got married, Liu Mai was sitting in the courtyard, and opposite of her was Wang Lin. He had a wood carving in his hand. He was carving his wife's most beautiful moment. Their plain life gave off a sense of warmth. After 2 years, they had a child. It was a boy, and his name was Wang Ping. The boy was very smart and an eloquent speaker. As he grew up, the family lived a warm life, and it looked perfect. Wang Lin had chosen not to study with his father, but to become a carpenter, the occupation passed down from their ancestors. He had decided to live in this small mountain village. His wife, Liu Mai, had very deep feelings toward their child. She spent almost all her time with Wang Ping. She cooked for him in the mornings, played with him during the day, and read stories to him to coax him to sleep. After 10 years, when Wang Ping turned 15, he decided to study. He left the small mountain village and headed outside to participate in the county exam. When he left, he saw his mother sitting in the yard and his father carving the second statue of his mother. The statue was still very beautiful. Wang Ping successfully passed the exam and went to the capital a few years later. Wang Lin and Liu Mai went with him, and they lived in the capital. Time unknowingly passed. White appeared in Wang Lin and Liu Mai's hair. Wang Ping had made a name for himself in the capital and found his own path. At this time, Wang Ping married. His wife had a very nice name, Qing Yi. She was a very beautiful girl who came from a rich family in the capital. She was very filial to Wang Lin and Liu Mai, and this made them very satisfied but also very emotional. After all, this meant that Wang Ping was going to have his own family and, like a bird that grew up, he would fly high in the sky. Perhaps he wouldn't return home for a long time. Wang Lin and Liu Mai chose to leave. They left the capital and returned to the calm mountain village to spend their remaining years. After returning to their old home in the village, Wang Lin carved the third statue for Liu Mai. This carving contained traces of time but was still very beautiful. Life was very calm and nothing special happened. Wang Lin enjoyed these days greatly. Although he hadn't said a word to her in this lifetime, they continued to watch the sun rise and set. There was a sense of warmth, and the amount of white hair on their heads increased. Time passed in this warmth. This year, when the autumn leaves flew across the sky, Wang Lin and Liu Mai had become old. Their child, Wang Ping, would occasionally come back during the years, but he never stayed for too long before quickly leaving. The two elders were sitting inside the yard. Liu Mai smiled and looked at Wang Lin. On the other side, Wang Lin was holding a carving in his hand. He looked at Liu Mai and was perhaps making the last carving in his life. The wood carving gradually took shape in Wang Lin's hands, and Liu Mai's appearance slowly appeared. However, this was not the current white-haired Liu Mai, but Liu Mai the day after they were married. It was very beautiful. I know that even though you haven't spoken to me your entire life, you're not a mute, Liu Mai looked at Wang Lin as he slowly worked on the carving. Her eyes were filled with tenderness. Wang Lin looked up at Liu Mai and smiled. He shook his head and still didn't speak. On the third day after the carving was finished, Liu Mai fell ill. She was lying in bed and her old face still contained the beauty of her youth. She held Wang Lin's hand and didn't let go. I know you're not a mute. I still remember when we met as children. You were looking at the sky. I was very curious about why you were looking at the sky, So I went next to you to look as well. However, I didn't see anything. When I left, you suddenly spoke. The first thing you said to me was, "You remember." I also remember. Liu Mai looked at Wang Lin, and her gaze was as gentle as water. You said to me that I'm your wife. You're my husband. This is our destined fate, Liu Mai murmured, and her smile became even more gentle. She looked at Wang Lin as if she was immersed in her memories. Wang Lin also laughed. He held Liu Mai's hand and didn't let go. The two of them looked at each other like this. Liu Mai continued to talk. She talked about a lifetime of things, talked about her youth, talked about herself after their marriage, talked about after having Wang Ping. Pinga is a good child, but he has grown up and he has his own path. We can't let him stay here for the rest of his life. When I leave, you will be alone, so you have to take care of him, Liu Mai murmured. Wang Lin shook his head. He looked at Liu Mai with a gentle expression. Liu Mai continued to talk as the night passed and the morning sun rose. The autumn wind blew and the yellow leaves danced in the sky. Liu Mai's eyes were suddenly filled with confusion and her grip on Wang Lin's hand became even harder. Her wrinkle-covered face became red and it was as if time had reversed. Her weak body was injected with life. I saw it. Wang Lin, I saw it. She struggled to get up, and her face was filled with joy. She pointed out the window and quickly spoke to Wang Lin. I saw exactly what was in the sky back when we were kids. I really saw it. In the sky, there was a you and a me. I saw it. We are cultivators. I? Liu Mai suddenly stopped and tears flowed from her eyes. She saw a scene that made her heart ache. I? How can this be? Even more tears flowed from Liu Mai's eyes. Wang Lin pulled Liu Mai and said the first word since they married. It's all in the past. His voice was hoarse but gentle. That night, Wang Ping returned with his wife after resigning from his official post so he could come home and accompany his parents. In the room, he saw his parents looking like they were sleeping with smiles. They had passed away. He stood before his parents for a long time before tears flowed down his face. The faces of his parents and memories of his childhood appeared in his mind. He buried his parents. Wang Ping and Qing Yi lived in this old house until years passed, until they grew old, until they closed their eyes. Inside the cave, 13 was guarding Wang Lin and Liu Mai, who had been sitting there with their eyes closed. There was a bead rotating between them. The bead gave off a light that seemed to connect to the two of them. On this day, Wang Lin opened his eyes and looked at the woman beside him for a long time. The woman's eyes trembled and tears fell. She opened her eyes and looked at Wang Lin. Their gazes met like in the dream Dao, and this seemed to last for an eternity. It is over, Mu Bingmai muttered. It's over. Close your eyes. When you open them again, everything will begin anew, Wang Lin whispered. He knew that the woman before him had very complicated feelings towards him. However, no matter how complicated these feelings were, she could not let them go. Mu Bingmai stared at Wang Lin. She didn't know what Wang Lin meant, but she obediently closed her eyes. This stopped her tears from flowing. Open your eyes, a familiar voice came from before her. When she opened her eyes, she saw it. This video will end here.